Hi, I'm Greg from RVHaulers. I have an update on an RV hauler. This one is named Bernie. This red Volvo over my shoulder is a 2004 Volvo Model 670, so it's got the taller sleeper, but the little bit shorter one. It does have a workstation configuration in the back, so it has benches and a table, and I'll show you that in a moment. But what's happened with this RV hauler is it was used by a family of 4. Their plan was to travel for a couple of years. They've completed those travels with their 2 daughters, and they contacted us and said, Greg, would you find a new home for our RV hauler? So that's what we're doing here, is we've taken this RV hauler, we've gone through it extensively, we've made a number of repairs, and this is an update for my customers to let them know how things are progressing and what is left. Let me show you Bernie. So what's happening with this RV hauler is we've got a customer that is very handy, and there's a number of things that he's going to be taking care of himself. I apologize, we did wash Bernie out here on the acreage. I've got some minerals in my water and I end up with like these little water spots. So that's all those are, is some water spots. But he's going to be taking care of some things such as the headlights and the fog lights. We've got very nice BF Goodrich steer tires. These are 24/5 tires, so they're very tall. The engine in this Volvo is a D12 made by Volvo. Really a bulletproof, probably one of the best engines that Volvo ever made. This RV hauler has 508,000 miles on it. Very young. I will point out that we are starting to see some of the small rust come through on the doors we would expect with a Volvo that's 2004. But one thing we had to do is, in their travels, these plastic sides, they're held on by some plastic clips in behind here, and they deteriorated and broke, and we lost 2 of these panels. And what we've chosen to do instead of, well, the challenge was, of course, we had ones that were faded back here. We had the originals on here, and then we had one missing. So if we wanted to buy all brand new ones, that was going to be very expensive. What we did instead is we just replaced the ones that were missing, and we used our, again, these are just water spots, but we used our box liner material. It's like a Line-X rubberized coating. We sanded these, we scuffed them up really well, and we paint matched the trim pieces. Of course, you don't see those on the newer style of Volvos since these were introduced. If we look here, I'll just quickly show you. If you look at the trim on that Volvo, you'll see that they're a little bit different. Those ones have more curvature to them, and these panels are much more flat. So we took care of some things like some of the chrome covers. We've done, believe it or not, we've done some polishing. So we've done a cut and polish on the whole truck. Some small things we found is we did have, in our test drives, we had some wiggles in the mirrors. Those mirrors were vibrating a bit if we had the wind. And what happens is the mirror actuator, there's a motor in behind that mirror, and it kind of has a gimbal system that goes in grooves, and they're plastic. So over time, with the mirror kind of jiggling in the wind, that plastic wears out and you have to replace the actuators, they're called. So we took care of that. Some other things that we've done is we've put brand new tires on the rear. We also put minimizer fenders. We've got new fenders back here. This truck, when I got it, was already singled, and it was singled short. So that axle has been pushed right up close to the sleeper, as you can see. We enclosed the frame here with some additional aluminum pieces, and we've got new airbags, 4 new shocks. This style of Volvo had 4 shocks in there. We also found in our testing that the exhaust stack was really compromised with some rust. Where that band clamp is, we had started to get some deterioration, and it just wasn't strong enough. So we Took a stainless one off of another truck and repurposed it, put a new band clamp on, so that's all up to speed. Then back here on the frame, we sandblasted this whole rear of the frame and painted it black. We did quite a bit of rebuilding on this trailer saver. This has been on the truck for a very long time. And we found when we were inspecting the airbags back here that they were, well, they were done. They were completely shot. Those were over $400 each. Very specialized, having the air fitting come off in a certain location, so we had to special order those. The shocks that were in here were good. We did find that inside the head, this head had been really worn out. The jaws weren't closing all the way. The lock mechanism up in here as well, this had been a little bit bent or skewed, so you'll see that we've done some corrections with it. We've put all new hardware in there. Also, previous to my last customers getting it, this hitch had received, I think the trailer had come down and struck here. And we rebuilt these arms, put them back in. This shaft was really worn. You could grab a hold of this hitch, and if you pulled on it, it would go clunk, clunk, clunk in here. So that steel shaft in there had just worn down over time. So we rebuilt that. But really, we pulled this whole hitch apart and rebuilt it. So that trailer saver is ready for quite a few more miles. We've got new brakes, new drums, new airbags, drums and shoes. Oh, there's Amy. There's one of my Hungarian sheepdogs finding the shade. The customer is going to be taking care of doing polishing themselves. Some of the other things that we did, I'm just going slow so they can see how the truck looks. We let the customer know before we had some clear coat. I have a section of clear coat right here that was coming off, and we've been careful not to take that any further, but it is a blemish in the truck. This door you can see is super duper, and some other things that we had that needed to be addressed is we found the fan hub was not working properly. It wasn't always engaging when necessary, so we replaced that in our testing. We also had on the driver's side, when we took this wheel off and inspected behind the drum, the seal was starting to sweat a little bit, so we've replaced that seal. Some of the other things that we found, I'll take you inside just a moment. Here on the driver's side, the seat, there's a leveling valve underneath here. These seats are actually very nice. You just set the height with this button, and no matter what weight you put on here, it'll always keep the seat at the same level. That leveling valve was letting the seat kind of go up and down just kind of a quarter of an inch, but you really noticed it. So that's been repaired. One of the things I want to let my customers know is we've driven the truck quite a bit without trailers right now, but this side of the seat, the foam in here, we find that it doesn't have very good support. This side, very firm, right? I got to push really hard for that to go down. But what happens is when a driver is always coming out, they kind of roll over this side of the seat, and this is super soft. So I find that you can even see it's kind of squished down here, and you even see a little bit of the foam is starting to come out. It's deteriorated quite a bit. So I wanted to bring that up to my customers and see whether that's a fix that we should make, whether we want to get those rebuilt. Another thing, let me close the door so I don't have so much wind. Our customer is going to take care of the cleaning themselves. But something that we've discovered is we had the batteries disconnected from this truck while we were doing some work. I'll turn the key on. There we go. Now, this stereo has a code, a security code on it. And we have the original manual, the code is 6223. So since we've disconnected the power, we need to be able to reprogram in the code in the stereo. So usually this is how it works. You turn the number till you get to 6, and then you would push this button to enter the 6 and the cursor, the blinking would go to the next one, and let you put the new numbers in. Guess what? This button's broken. We never really found that out until we disconnected the batteries. So we've played with this a lot. You know, we've made sure, we even talked to Volvo. They confirmed that we were doing this the right way, and gosh, we've got the stereo manual, so we know we're doing that right. But this stereo is locked out and broken. Some of the other small things that we found, come on around to the back. So here is, oh, my cushion fell down. Really nice and clean, non-smoking Volvo. There's the refrigerator in there. Came with a microwave, and you can see it's in great shape. You can see not a flat panel TV, one of the original tube types, but we have a vent back here. See that vent? We've ordered it. We need to replace it. It was broken. We also had some closure on this cabinet that's broken. So I've got this part ordered. It's kind of a pin that locks into this locking mechanism. So that's got to be fixed. Hang on, let me look at my notes. I have another list of little things we're touching up yet. I'm not embarrassed to say I write everything down. So the extra things that we found, I already mentioned, the mirror actuator, the fan hub, the hitch we've rebuilt quite a bit. That exhaust stack that was a little rusted, and the driver's side hub seal. Some of the new things we found is that the radio is not working. That seat cushion is really kind of crunched. And the fan speed, let me mention what about that. Swinging around here. So the key's on right now, and I'm going to turn the fan on to the first position. Do you hear how it kind of went? I don't know if you can hear that in the camera, but it's nice and low. And if I turn it, there it goes to the second speed. But sometimes the fan just kind of kicks up a little bit in speed. Oh, there you go. I'm going to close the window. There, the window's closed, so I don't have the wind noise. So here, hopefully you can hear this. If I play with the switch, so there it is on high, there it is at the right speed. So this switch is a little touchy. We're going to take this out, see if I can give it a cleaning, but we may have to replace this controller. There's the high speed. So that's one thing I need to play with yet, do some more testing on. And remaining, I've got that vent I got to fix. We need to pull a trailer with Bernie, do lots of hard testing in mountain conditions, and I've got that latch to fix. So as I mentioned, we've got lots of testing left to do with Bernie, but I wanted to give an update to my customers as to how things were coming along. My name is Greg. This is what I get to do for a living. I love my job. I get to customize these trucks for folks and see them pull their trailers safely. If you have any questions about our RV haulers, I really welcome you to give us a call or send me an email. Here's my website information. Keep driving safe. Thank you.